Good over here.
Okay, here we go, man. 3, 2, 1, and go. Awesome. So, folks, this is Bonk's Revenge. This is an old game on the old TurboGrafx-16, which my man Evan here is going to talk a little bit about. Evan, tell us a little bit about the TurboGrafx-16.
So TurboGrafx-16 came out in the late 80s, limited release in America. I think the console launched at $500 in late 80s money. It's like $1,200 today. I can't imagine spending that on a console. One of the things you may have noticed when he started the game was there were 3 difficulties. The difficulties aren't different difficulties. They just, you play more of the game as you go. So the expert run is basically like a 100% run. And that's what he's doing here.
Oh. One of the interesting things about the TurboGrafx-16 is that it actually had turbo switches on the controller. And so a lot of the games took advantage of actually incorporating turbo strats into their games, and Bonk's Revenge is no exception to that.
Yeah, you'll see him spin across here. Normally you'd have to mash the button to do that, but with the turbo controls you can just hold it down. You see he's got his meat power up here. There are 2 levels. There's the smaller meat and the bigger meat, and you can actually combine them together to create a big meat. You get invincibility for a few seconds, and you get speed boost. The small meat runs twice as fast and does twice as much damage, and the large meat runs 3 times as fast and does 4 times as much damage. So you'll see him try and carry that meat power as long as he can. This first world, you can be meat powered up almost the entire round.
Evan, have we created a name do we call like Bonk when he's powered up or not? Because I think Crazy Bonk kind of sums it up a little bit, but I'm still not sure what we could call him.
We haven't really. We've only been running this game. Inkjet did the first run of it in about 8 or 9 months ago, and then I did a run a couple months after that, and then there was nothing for like 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden there were 3 more people, and now we have 5 people running this game. So we haven't named a lot of stuff. We haven't broken the game yet, but a lot of credit goes to the Fuzzard that did the tasks of the game.
Very fortunate to have a task for the game, and super not sure where we would have started had we not had the task, but glad we do and able to develop some strats around that.
Yeah, you'll see a couple of things here where we actually learned from the tasks. The first will be how we actually quick kill this boss.
Which, just a heads up, we're going to try not to soft lock the game here. This is the only point in the entire run where we can soft lock the game. We're going to try not to.
Matt has agreed to donate $100 if he soft locks it. So
this is actually true.
There is an upside if he does it, but he did not there. That's good. Now's a good time to read a donation too.
Sure, I have one from Slopdop. It's a $5 donation. And they say, "Hey Lat, good luck on the run. Hopefully this game won't drive you bonkers."
Slop, what's up, man? How you doing, dude?
Slop, dude.
Thanks for the donation, man. That's awesome.
Slop's a regular in his chat here. So this is the first time we're going to see him really trying to carry the meat power as long as he can. It is possible to get it all the way to the mini-boss at the end of the stage, but it takes some really fine controls. If he can do it, he will, but it probably won't make it there. You can go ahead and read another donation.
Sure. Well, I want to let everybody know that we just had some additional content added to the marathon. This is for Yo Noid 2.
Ooh.
It's to see the FMV intro at that game. We need $4,000. We just opened it, so currently, if you want to be the first one to contribute to that, the chance is yours.
So this is my favorite stage in the entire run. Instead of just your traditional horizontal platforming, we got some verticalness, and it's a really fun stage to play casually or in a speedrun. And I'm a fan of the music. I mean, this is a game for me that I played as a kid growing up, so big nostalgia factor. And it's just I wish I had a way to describe why it's my favorite level. It's fun to go up instead of left and right like Mario was and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so this game came out around the same time as Super Mario World and has a really the restrictions on the console as far as screen size and sprite limits are almost non-existent. You'll see in a later level that you can have a ton of sprites on the screen at a time, and it doesn't really see any slowdown. This level is like 3 screens high, and however long this is, so that you can really fit a lot on these cartridges. Surprisingly, That's an unintentional
There's one death. Okay,
Yeah.
so first donation made right there. That was not intentional. So there's a lot of places to damage boost in this game, and it's almost always helpful because it mostly pushes you forward. The only times where it's not helpful is if you take a death that you didn't mean to take. So.
Yeah, when Bonk gets the meat power up, you actually can. You don't gain control of him until he comes back down to the level he was at. But when you get damaged, you gain control at the top of the jump. So.
Okay.
This is another good spot for donations if you want.
Certainly, I've got a $10 donation. This one's from Squeako249. It says, the Dragon Quest series, which is coming up a little later today, is one of my all-time favorites. So I can't wait to watch the DQ3 run. Money towards that great slime ending.
So this game has a boss at the end of every stage except for round 5, and have no idea what their names are. We've tried to create some creative names for that one. Evan refers to the last boss you just saw as the Witch Doctor, but if anybody's got a better name, please help us out. We want to start naming some of these things.
Yeah, they have official names. I think Witch Doctor is actually the official name. But
is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, you say so.
That being said, I mean, a lot of it is from unsourced material, so who knows?
I got through that. That's good.
Yeah, you can see there he avoided damage by breathing fire as he was going through. This is the swag slide.
So there's this is definitely where the run becomes a little bit more challenging, and it's a much more technical part. And as Evan was mentioning earlier, any good platformer from the 80s or 90s definitely has its ice stage, and this is it for Bonk's Revenge.
Yeah, and the thing, if you're listening to the music, I know we're talking over it, but this game has different music for almost every level of the game, which was not common at the time. You used to hear a lot of, repeated music, and it's all good music. Like, there's not a single stage, I think, that has bad music.
Also really appreciate that they chose a different soundtrack for each stage. So you get a good variety of soundtrack.
You definitely get a feel for each world that you're in. Should we talk about the story of this game?
Is there a story?
There's a little bit of a story. So King Drool III, the grandson of King Drool from Bonk's Adventure, final boss, has stolen half of the moon, and we will see that in a little bit. But he's stolen half of the moon, and Princess Za, who we'll see at the end of the game, has asked Bonk to retrieve the other half of the moon. I don't know how a caveman is going to retrieve half the moon, but this is how he's doing it.
Well, whenever I see problems with the moon, I think of calling up Bonk or a caveman to ask him how to help.
So this is a situation on this boss. Normally this boss requires 5 hits, but because he has the smaller meat power-up right now, he's doing double damage. He was not able to carry it all the way through to a second hit on the boss, so it'll actually take him 4 hits instead of 5, but you can do it in 3. The traditional way you would beat this boss is she actually will pose and stick out one leg, and you can jump on the leg and then jump on her head. But in this version of the boss, you can actually just jump from the ice on the side and have a clean hit. Now's a good time to do more donations if you got some.
Sure, we have a few here. I have $10 from Alex, the 5-Screw Gamer. He says, 100,000 people watching you, man. No pressure. You got this. Bring Bonk back to its popularity. Good luck, man.
5-Screw, what's up, man? Dude, thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate it a ton. So. This is another good stage to keep reading some donations. There's no help. There's really not a whole lot going on in this stage.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Well, I just want to add that your explanation of the story has left me with more questions than answers.
You're not the only one, dude.
And of course, there's going to be lots of opportunities for people to get their donations read during the boss rush coming up. So make sure you get them in. But I do have one more coming up here. It's from Boog2 the Man 173.
Boog to the man. What does he say?
He says he sends $10 to Doctors Without Borders and says, "Hey, Lat, good luck on the run. Don't bonk your head too hard on the bosses.
Dude, huge shout out to Boog to the Man. Boog to the Man was the first guy who ever rated me when I started streaming, so huge fan of him and really appreciate it. Thanks, man.
So there was the first of 2 skips that we do in this run that we learned from the tasks. The next one is actually in the next level, so you'll see it right away. He did a really good job with those pterodactyl bosses at the previous level. They can be really troublesome. The hitboxes in this game are absurd sometimes. He actually will... they'll grab you after you hit them sometimes. He just did the other skip there. In both those, he saved like 40 seconds each time, which, I mean, 40 seconds in an hour-and-a-half run doesn't seem like much, but this run's like 25 minutes long, and so it makes a big difference.
I'm pretty excited that I actually got those, as in practice, those didn't go so well, so it's nice to actually get them.
This is another good spot for a donation, if you've got some.
Sure I do. Skelly sends in $10. It says, Bonk was a big part of my childhood, and it's great to see it at a GDQ. Good luck on the run.
Thanks, Skelly. Appreciate that, man.
And you know, I know a lot of people are big fans of the Bonk series. It came out around the same time as Mario, as you were saying. You know what? Those guys are now 30, 35. Come on, let's get some donations from that crew.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So this is a situation where you can really damage boost, and there's not really a way to do that without damage boosting. So even in a casual run, you're just kind of blast through there.
Yes. That is a place you will you might lose some lives in a casual run.
Yeah. He got really close to losing life there.
Actually, I think I'm going to do a little intentional death here.
So the strategy for once he gets the boss done here, the boss is going to jump into the air and on his flying ship.
Ooh.
And he's going to need to take an intentional hit. And if he had waited until the boss came out like here, he would have taken an unintentional death to do it.
Okay. So, do you have a boss name for this one, Evan?
This is Captain Cook.
Captain
Cook.
Sounds a lot like Captain Crunch, just saying.
Or Captain Hook. He's got a hook there, too.
Oh, that would make a lot more sense.
They
actually.
definitely were, they were not original when they translated this game.
Surprised they didn't get sued for some of that.
Who knows? This was the Wild West of the late 80s video games where no one was paying attention. So we're back to the first level of the game. We've actually come back around, or the first area, and now it's being destroyed by lava. We're not really sure what has happened, but it just is. It's a mess now.
And all those springs that I just jumped over, they all have enemies in them, so there are definitely some things where you try to avoid on purpose.
So guys, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Quick answer.
Is the meat radioactive or is it spicy?
Such a good question.
What's making Bonk do that?
You know, I don't think we've ever thought about it. I want to say that it's probably spicy.
Yen, have you ever had a giant piece of raw meat?
It might be.
Just saying. You never know.
Might be salmonella.
You know what? If salmonella does that to people, it might be desirable, you know?
Yeah.
Speedrun life.
Yeah. So this is the hardest level of the game. I think all of us that run this game would agree. This is a good example of how many sprites you can get on the screen at once without really seeing any slowdown. But there's just so much going on the screen, and everything can kill you. This is often a place where we'll take an intentional death just so that we can actually make it through. If you die on one of these slopes, you can slide all the way down sometimes, and it slows you way down. So the intentional death oftentimes is a better strategy.
One of the things I love about this game and the speedrun is that, interestingly enough, there's not a whole lot of RNG to the game. A lot of it is actually skill-based, which it makes it fun to be a competitive speedrun. But on the flip side of things, you don't get any better at it. It's your own fault, you know. So, but that's one of the few stages that has quite a bit of RNG associated with it. So.
So now you got to see there the half of the moon that King Drool has taken.
Who steals a moon? Just saying.
Who steals half a moon?
Oh, that's a good point. Right. Not even go for the full thing.
Like what does half the moon do for you?
Right? Oh my god.
But this is the hatchets, it's hatchet hometown in Japanese. It's Chikun, which I don't know what that means, but I don't believe it means hatchet.
Okay.
I think
it's not
it
a
actually
bad word, is it?
No, someone will correct me. I think it means egg, but
Got
I'm
it.
probably wrong. But we're now in their hometown, so we're actually trying to progress towards a large rocket so that we can get to the moon to take it back. So there's a situation where that meat power is really powerful. He was able to just one-shot that mini boss. So as he climbs his tower, it's probably another good shot for donations. Yeah.
Sure thing. Actually, I've got quite a few coming in. I've got a $50 donation from Doofus. Says, so happy that the TurboGrafx-16 is getting some love this GDQ. Bonk's Revenge was one of my favorites as a kid. Hope to see Bonk's Adventure here someday too.
Doofus, I agree with you, man. One of my favorite as well. It's glad I'm able to play it here and show it off.
I've got another one if you have time.
Go for it, man.
Sure. So Ken111 sends in $25. And he wants to let you guys know that you could call Crazy Bonk bonkers.
Well,
Yeah.
that would work.
He didn't think that was so good because it says here, Dig's grave climbs in.
So this boss, it is entirely possible to cheese the boss and just kind of kill him in one shot. Lining it up though is really tight.
Just missed.
Yeah, you can basically get him locked against the edge and just keep hitting him. Oh, the hand got in the way that time. But he's still doing really well.
We're going to take it just a little bit safer.
Yeah, he has. It is entirely possible to game over in this run. We cut it really slim. He's going to get an extra life when he gets to 60,000 points, and then there's some extra lives he's going to probably grab. He wouldn't normally in a run, but he doesn't want to donate another $100 for getting a game over. He's really trying to avoid donating, apparently.
No, don't say it.
We made the donation incentives such that he wouldn't want to do them, but now I'm rethinking that idea. So yeah,
I've actually lost track. Do you remember how many lives I've lost? I'm going to have to make sure I get the count right.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the VOD later. It's definitely. What did you start the game with? 2, and then you gained 1 at 20,000, so you've lost 3 lives.
So here's where we're going to grab some extra lives, and it's just more to lose and donate, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah, there you go.
Time for a donation, guys?
Yeah, please.
So I have a very special and timely donation. This one's from that one platform that squishes Bonk and turns him into a crab.
This is a very
just got
timely.
there.
Yeah.
It's $100. The platform has some cash with them. It says, donation from that one platform that squishes Bonk and turns him into a crab. The message is, squonk.
There we go.
There we go. So where we're at now is we're actually in the moon. We're taking. There's 4 levels, and these are brand new levels with whole new tile sets we've never seen in the game. And we're gonna face the first 4 round bosses again. Their stages are slightly different, so the strategies don't always work from the first ones. You'll actually get to see the how you properly kill the first boss. But I mean, this is a really just you get to play all the bosses again.
It's interesting because round 7 here, which is the last one, is almost half the game. Oh, jeez. And it's not sure why they did that, but if you're playing a casual run, it can be a little frustrating for sure. I didn't kill him. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
We'll play it a little safe here.
So he's got to set up the climb here so that he can get up to that other meat. navigating these boxes is quite annoying. You can only hit one set at a time.
Unless you're fully powered up, then you can just walk through,
Yeah.
which is excellent.
So he's going to fight Captain Cook here again.
Not Captain Hook.
Not Captain
Trademark.
Hook. This is not a Disney game. But you can see how much quicker he kills him there as the what are we calling him now? Bonkers? Is that that's now the official name? All right.
You got that.
So go ahead and read some more donations if you
I
got
was
'em.
just about to say, this looks boss rushy.
This is definitely a boss rush. There's no doubt about it. I am really glad that they did not just throw the bosses in a row. Air Zonk does that. They just that's a spin-off from this game. That's a shooter, but you basically just refight all the bosses at the end of the game.
Well, I've got a $10 donation from Anonymous who says, I spent my childhood defending the honor of the TurboGrafx-16 against the insults of my Genesis and SNES-owning friends.
Sorry.
Yep, I'm that guy. So naturally, I had to donate during the Bonk section. It's a 16-bit system, guys. Sorta.
That sorta is correct. It is. It does have 16 bits. They happen to be in two 8-bit processors, but it does have 16 bits.
Let me get a few more in here, if that's okay.
Yeah, go
Please.
for it.
Sure. Okay, Muffin Mark sends in $50. Says, hyped to see the game of my childhood run at GDQ. Grew up with this game and Bomberman. Let's get more TurboGrafx-16 games at future events. Also, nobody seems to know how to correctly stylize TurboGrafx-16.
It's probably about 12 different ways.
Yep. I have a $25 donation from Micah the Brave. Says this run has a lot of impact, really busting through the game head on.
The puns.
This run and runner are a big hit. Also, hi to the announcer. Don't let this moment go to your head.
Can't get enough of the Bonk jokes, I guess. You know, and we didn't talk much about this game. There's actually, there were 3 different Bonks games that came out for the TurboGrafx-16, and this is actually the second one in the series. And it's interesting because the other two, the gameplay on them is quite different. All of them are fun for a casual playthrough. So if you're looking to get into it at all, they actually make great casual runs, great casual plays. There's a whole bunch of bonus stages and everything that we don't even bother with in a run, as you can imagine, in a speed run. So, but it's nice that this is probably my favorite of all of them in the series.
Yeah, the controls in this are the best of the series. They're tighter. They respond a little bit better. One thing you'll notice here is this is just like every other platformer at the time. You've also got to have a water stage. So this is our water stage. You can basically run through it as the crab. The controls are very similar. You get kind of the same kind of boost that Super Mario does in Super Mario World when he grabs the shell in the water. You get that kind of like forward momentum without even trying. So we're fighting the ice ballerina here again, and now we don't have those ice platforms on the side, so he's just got to take a hit every single time. Normally he would take an intentional death here as he's hitting her, but because he has so many extra hearts from picking up those extra lives and extra bonus stuff, he can do it without taking the extra death.
Unfortunately, this ends up being one of the most boring bosses in the run, because as of right now, we don't really know any way around it other than just doing 5 straight hits, which is, in a speed run, is just you almost want to take a nap during this part.
Yeah. You can go ahead and you got more donations.
Yeah, sure. Lots coming in for the Dragon Warrior 3 hero name coming up later on in the day. If you're a fan of the Dragon Warrior series, you might recognize this comment. It's from Dark Moon. It sends in $200. This is to the file, the hero name, and it says command, 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 command.
So as we're heading in, we got one more elevator stage before we head into the last 2 bosses. And I want to give a quick shout out to Great John, who's the current world record holder in this category, and actually in all of the categories for Bonk's End. He's him and I have kind of been playing the game at the same time, and he is definitely responsible for a lot of the RTA viable strats. You can actually do a speed run in real time from some of the info from the task.
Yeah. If you're interested in playing this game, a really great way to get started is by running practice. Practice is a less than 3-minute speed run, so you can really learn how the controls work, and you can, see your name on a leaderboard if you've never speedrun anything. This is the only game I have any speedrun times on. But it's really easy to get into. The whole run, the expert run, is only like 25 minutes long.
Even if you're just you wanted to speed run a game just to start with, this is a great one because, as Evan mentioned, it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on, who doesn't have time for a 3-minute speed run?
Can I sneak another one in here?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, Roostar sends in $25, says, here's my chip in for Yonoid 2. $25 closer to getting over 1 million for this charity. Good luck, everyone, and have fun. I just want to let everybody know an update on the Yonoid 2 FMV intro sequence. If you want to see that, we still need about $3,700. Got about $250 towards the $4,000 total as it stands.
So we fight just like we fought all the other bosses before. We go ahead and fight the flying robot again.
I actually have another donation if you
go for
have a break. Oh, I have a $250 donation. This one's from Slot Hummus or possibly Sloth Hummus. I've been trying this one. I've been mulling it over. He sends $250. And he says, just wanted to say hey, I hope everyone has great runs.
Oh, thanks, man.
Is that like LT hummus?
It doesn't say that.
Okay.
It says
Okay.
Slothumus.
Okay. Okay.
Or Slot Hummus.
Okay.
Hummus is good. I like hummus.
I like Slot Hummus.
So this is King Drool III, the grandson of King Drool from the first game. Time is going to be here in just a second when he gets the last hit on the boss. You'll see him fly in the air. We'll give you we'll let you know, but it's pretty close here. That's if he doesn't die.
We can avoid some death. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There's a death. Is that 4 or 5 now?
It's definitely rank it up there.
Okay. So time will be in just a little bit more then. Some great music here.
My favorite music in the run, actually.
It's pretty good. And time.
Okay.
27-22.
28. We kept it under 30.
Yeah.
Woohoo. One of the we were developing the speedruns, one of the biggest hurdles was trying to get under that 30 mark. That was like that's your first one when you take on expert and stuff. But it's got a great credit sequence. I'm going to let it roll just for a second here. I'd like to do just a quick shout out. Hello, wife at home, Angela.